All right. So explain the creative process you guys actually had here. Why Triggered 2.0?
All right, so kind of may be able to tell this was actually part two. So what I chose to do with the way the story opened was to treat it like a movie that you may not have seen the first one of. So we kind of just give you a recap and kind of just rush you right into the action um, without taking away the parts that you need to kind of take away from part one.
Okay.
So you get the exposition from Lady Deathstrike, letting Wolverine know that pretty much part one was all in his head. So the information that you really just needed to know is obviously that we lose Rogue in this experiment situation, and now Wolverine has to not only contend with having lost one of his best friends, but having to face what he thought was a threat that had been taken care of in the first place. And now he's even stronger.
Um, I noticed you guys had a certain type of Wolverine in this movie. I was just what I guess I'm just kind of trying to piece like what phase would he be in, or is this just regular Logan with his white beater shirt?
This is Logan, yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, in the first story, he's going through the process of being reconditioned, and what really was happening was that his memories were being changed, uh, and now he's in this situation that he's never really experienced, maybe since he first became Weapon X. So I kind of was really happy with the fact that Fernando Marrero, who's he's the actor who plays Wolverine, that his look is most closely resemblant of Weapon X Wolverine when he had kind of like the more wild hair and the kind of more feral look. And we made a big point to have him shave just to give him more of the kind of classic Wolverine identity. But this is classic Logan. You know, this is just him kind of caught off guard. And if you notice, he didn't even have shoes on. You know, he was home for probably the first time in who knows how long, and kind of, borrowing from Die Hard. I thought, man, he really got caught with his pants down, technically. You know, and in this case, his shoes off. So he basically had nothing to fight with other than what he was, gifted with when he was given that mantium.
Oh, yes. And also with the costumes from everybody else. I thought it was kind of cute that who's it called? Deathpool had to actually mention Sabretooth.
Oh yeah,
Um,
because we kind of got, when I wrote it and when I cast, he was a good friend of mine, professional wrestler Anthony Bear Williams. When I casted him, I was like, we live in this world now where anytime anyone sees someone that's different from what they are used to, it's going to cause some kind of response. So I figured, why not beat him to the punch and just add a little quip in there from who else but our good friend Deadpool to make note of what we knew was going to probably be like one of the popular commentaries when this is released publicly.
um, let's see. It was actually kind of nice to hear Lady Deathstrike's voice.
Yeah.
Um, was this happening? Was this in that first scene? I guess first or second scene, I should say. And how it was just amazing, like how you were able to get everybody to just I don't know. There was like this fantastic like coloring between the characters on that scene, and I guess I just gotta have to show some praise.
Thank you.
Like your colorist was just like or director of photography was just on on peak here.
Yeah, that was Ricardo Pomares. Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. and he agreed to work with us on this film because originally I was directing and the cinematographer for Triggered 1.0, which we shot in a 24-minute film in 24 hours consecutive.
Yeah.
And after that experience, I was like, if we're doing this again, I need a little assistance. And I was like, I know the man that can help me, and he came through. We pooled all our resources, and then this one also was shot in a day and a half, right, Marcus?
This one was about 3 days, three separate
3 days?
shoot days.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I mean, I think it was like, yeah, it was three separate days, but ultimately, like, I think it
or
came out
like
to
12-hour days.
yeah, like two 12-hour days or something like
Yeah.
that. But yeah, so so I brought him on, and he I guess took a leap of faith with us, right? And just kind of made himself. He was like fluid, where it's just like, okay, I'm thinking this, and then we would basically, because a lot of for a lot of us it was our for him at least, it was his first time, I think, seeing the location, and then just kind of being like, okay, open to going with the flow, right, of letting the location kind of just wash over him, and I had an idea of what it could look like, and then he brought his wife on also to do some art direction and production design, and with both of them, we were able to get that opening scene looking pretty good. I think I'm happy with it.
It was beautiful. I was just impressed. You went from like in every, I should say, in every scene change you guys had, and depending on just the location, you guys were just being able to like, I guess like coordinate the coloring so well. Um, was how did you guys handle the lighting? I know from what it looked like, you guys were in like really enclosed areas.
Yeah, so the lighting was well, I come from a documentary background, right? So it's very I was the director and in essence a lighting tech at the same time, right? So it was a two-man deal between the two of us. We were supporting each other and getting it right. We had, I think he brought on some an aperture, and then I brought on, and I had a bunch of gels that I collected over time, and just kind of was like, all right, we're gonna just throw this on there and see what that looks like. All right, like, okay, let's change the color temperature on the what is it on the camera, and to make it to trick it into seeing the color we wanted it to see, and then just what is it, getting complementary colors, right, to um, we saw a moment, or he saw actually an opportunity, right, where the right next to Lady Deathstrike and where Wolverine are having that conversation, he saw a fire pit area, and he hid a little small glowing LED, and we created a little fireplace of sorts, right, just to kind of create that depth, right, where that warmth in the foreground and coolness, the cool uh, outside, right, that was kind of coming through like a kind of a, what is it, a fake moon, full moon, a fake full moon
Yeah.
aspect to it, right? Which actually we discussed early on with Marcus, right? um, Marcus and I were discussing, right, how this was also sort of a horror movie, right? Because we have Blade, the vampire, in it, right, and kind of mixing that genre, right, of horror slash superhero. It's happening at night, and right, and then Wolverine is sort of. I know Wolverine is a Wolverine, but he's a wolf, right? So it's like that,
Yeah.
playing that horror genre look also.
Okay. That was interesting with the blood too. How
Sorry, it froze up. Could you ask that question again?
apologies.
No worries.
Uh, the blood.
Yep.
You guys were able to actually have them like ingest and spit it out and all
Oh
these
yeah.
things.
So we had
What
two
did you guys
different types
use?
of blood. We had the studio blood that is not ingestible, that was used for everything involved in the body, and the floors, but we also had the ingestible blood for when Wolverine had to keep spitting it out, and as well as myself. But yeah,
Okay.
we definitely were heavily inspired by the horror genre, Texas Chainsaw. When the biggest thought I had when I brought in Sabretooth was, I remember when I called Bear, the wrestler who played him, is that I want you to be like Texas Chainsaw, that scene when he's dragging him. That is entirely, what I was looking for, was that you just wanted this guy to come in and just overpower him, and basically bring him into the depths of the dungeon, to really let the audience understand the weight of the fear element here.
Yeah. Okay. That's intriguing. How was this? When you guys got to play with Lucas's eyes, how was this? How did you guys coordinate?
Robert, you want to chime in on that? Not sure if there is.
Hello, this is Rob. Uh, Thank you for allowing me to be here. Yeah, the eyes were very interesting. To answer your question, we had a pretty good, cool set of red eye contacts, and that I wore throughout the movie. And of course, with our high tech individuals,
Q
use some
Logic
special.
Entertainment.
I'm sorry, use some special, you know, uh, antics to make them glow, which was pretty cool. So
Very nice. Did it hurt, or is it just a regular contacts, or
yeah,
how was it?
yeah,
Okay.
not trying to give away all our secrets, but yeah, uh, basically just pop them in, pop them out.
All right. All right. Wonderful. Let's see. I know that you guys mentioned, part three to this. Um, are you guys how long are you guys actually going to be going for with this series, I guess?
That's going to wrap it up, honestly. This kind of created a life of its own, and I've been so blessed to have such an amazing group of people who have, just kind of trusted me. This all started. I did an original fan film that was unrelated to this, called The Black League of Superheroes. I made that during COVID, and that's where I first came on as Blade. Um, and that character carries over to this, but nothing more from that. What happened is that there was a gentleman who you saw briefly in this film reference. His name is Stephen James Tingus. He had a very rare form of muscular dystrophy, and he is a lifetime advocate of disability and diversity inclusion. He was supposed to have been in the first film, but it was COVID. His doctors told him, no, it's not safe. And we were blessed to be able to bring him into this first part one of Triggered. And it was his swan song for his life. It literally was his final opportunity and his first opportunity to be a lead in a film project that was superhero themed, which was something that he had always striven for, and was, just overly grateful to have experienced. He literally passed away the night that we screened it for the public for the first time, December of 2022. And his family were very. I actually went to his funeral. And his family was very adamant that we want to see part two. And I told him my idea for how his character was going to continue forward. And Joshua Longfellow Wright is who you saw as the director 2.0. which was Stephen having cured himself, which was something he actually did and was working to do in real life. He actually had a doctorate in real life, and he spent many years working on a cure for his ability. So fictionally, we wanted to make that happen with his character. Um, and part three is really to tie the whole story. And you saw that the plot has to do with possible world-ending scenario that is with the intention of bringing us to a world that doesn't require superheroes and that would maybe allow for him to have a normal life. So we want to finish that story, and we're working on getting that developed right now.
Lovely. It's lovely. Are you guys screening anywhere else?
We've screened several areas of Los Angeles. We have several film festivals that we are waiting to get the final word on as far as further public screenings. Um, Most likely going to happen again in Vegas. We also screened in New York. So we're just going to see what else we have for this year. I'm sure it's going to probably screen at least 2 or 3 more times publicly. And my ultimate goal, once we complete the third part, is to put it all together and then make it a public release.
When you guys actually do releases, like I'm sure you've done Comic Cons before, or like,
Oh yeah.
okay, you guys ever go in costume?
I actually attended the Los Angeles Comic Con as Blade this
Ah,
past, yeah, just a couple months ago, which was a fun experience, and it just almost was a kind of precursor to what I'm hoping to do once we do have the film ready, because I'd love to have the entire cast uh, in costume with a booth playing the film, there, and really being able to let the world see what we've been working on for the past 3 years now.
nice, nice. Um, let's see. Uh, what's your background actually when it comes down to your I guess acting training?
Oh wow! So this goes all the way back 1999. I also began as a professional wrestler myself. Fernando Marrero and Anthony Bear Williams are all professional wrestlers, and in 2003, I decided to go back to college and took theater. And my theater instructor was the one who pulled me aside after seeing me perform Chicago stage play. Say, you're not a wrestler, you're an actor.
Ah,
And I took that and I ended up on HBO's The Wire, season 5. And shortly after I moved here to LA, where I permanently reside now, and I continue my acting training. Alexia Robinson Studio. I've had specialized training with Ken Arnold, Kevin Jiggets, and mostly over the last several years, I've just been working primarily as an actor, continued as well as a professional wrestler, and began writing and producing in 2020 officially.
oh, wonderful, wonderful. Um, let's see. Any comments, as I said, I may have actually overlooked because like this series you guys have been working on, it feels like, obviously it's a passion project, but it feels like a project. Uh, Unlike, some people where they actually just make films just because they just want to reach out to a wider audience. Um, you know, you guys actually have come up to not just one, but two and three.
Yeah.
Um, I was this, are you guys actually um planning for other fan films or just
Honestly, what inspired me to start doing this is I actually have worked with Bat in the Sun Productions previously. You might be familiar with them, but they did the superhero beatdowns, and they've had a multitude of live action, mostly Batman themed projects.
Yeah.
Aaron and Sean Shonke, father and son team. And I've been inspired by those guys since so long. And I had been lucky enough to meet them several years ago and work on their project Ninjak uh, versus the Valiant Universe. And that was my inspiration because they started with fan films as well. And when Ninjax came, that was their opportunity to collaborate with a studio that they actually can work together on, and not no and kind of no longer do the fan films and now actually be involved with projects that they can monetize and that they can kind of build with. And my goal is to do something along the same lines of using the fan film genre to kind of work as our proof of concept. I've told people like, when they ask me, why would you put so much money and so much time into something you can't make money off of? I'm like, well, that's what most filmmakers do, even when they could monetize it. But now I have all these stories that I can tell when I actually have a budget to tell them instead of having to, present them on a scale that, I feel if it's my work and it's original work, I want it to be
Yeah.
done the right way. So
Yeah.
that's not plan B, but the next stage of our journey once we go from here is that we are going to be producing uh, in a variety of different projects, not just superhero theme, but dramas, comedies, and this is
Beautiful.
really give us that opportunity to let the world see what we're capable of.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Um, well, thank you. Thank you. I mean, everybody, please drop as much information as you can in the chat. We'd love to connect with everybody and help everybody in the community to basically network. If anything, I'm just really excited that you guys actually chose Fan Film Awards to actually be a part of this year.
Thank you.
And yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this is
Um,
the first festival that is entirely dedicated to fan films that we've been a part of, and frankly, this is our audience. So it would have been, you know, foolish of us not to, you know, present our film, and I'm just so grateful for you to have accepted it, and it's great to have some of our colleagues in this industry get a chance to see it. I hope you all enjoyed it. We definitely had so much fun doing it, and one of the ways that I knew how well of a job was done was just by the fact that so much of the cast to this day we stay in contact all the time. Are always eager to see when it's screening again, eager to hear about new announcements. We've won multiple awards. We're at 9 awards already so far since we just started the festival circuit not too long ago, just a few months back. So it's really a testament to everyone's great work, and I wish I had time to just like list every single person's name, but I'm going to put them in the chat and make sure everyone knows who was involved with this.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, Marcus
Thank
and
you.
Mario and Robert. Thank you.
And
Thank you.
Heidi is here too. Saw
Thank
Heidi
you.
Wortloff. She was our PA. So so you give you an idea. A lot of times, when someone's working as a PA, they're like, "Hey, on to the next job." But Heidi has been so proud of this work as well, and we're so proud of her because she did such an amazing job to make sure that we were able to get the film that we needed.
Thank you so much, Marcus. It was awesome to work with you guys. Good
Thank you,
experience.
Heidi.
Of course. Thank you.
You guys are an amazing team. Love it. Love the love. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
We'll be
you.
moving forward.